Hey people, welcome back to another video on my channel, and this time it is a preview of the Champions League round of 16 second leg fixtures. Now it's about to get interesting. It's about to get interesting because a lot of teams, they did woefully, especially the Premier League teams. They were so bad in the first leg of the Champions League round of 16 fixtures. I'm sure most of them would have gone back to London or Manchester or wherever it is that they came from and they will be disappointed. Really disappointed. Hey God. Anyways, guys, so the games that will be happening obviously on Tuesday, we'll see Arsenal obviously playing Bayer Leverkusen. Now, when you look at the last game between these two sides, Bayern Leverkusen gave it everything. In fact, Arsenal needed a penalty, right? None of Madrid's work to get that penalty, which Kai Havertz equalized, right? And it was a tough outing for Arsenal. Bayern Leverkusen right now, I feel like it seems like they're in that mood to play football, because what they did to Bayern Munich at the weekend, oh my God. I'm sure Bayern would have said, man, these people are something else, because they played out a 1-1 draw against Bayern in their own house. This time around, they're going to the Emirates to play Arsenal, and I think it's going to be difficult, honestly, because when Arsenal plays at the Emirates, they're a different team entirely. So I think it's going to be a tough game, but I feel like Bayern Leverkusen can get it done. However, Arsenal will definitely get the win, because as I said, when Arsenal plays at home, they are a different team entirely. They know how to get the result at home. You know, that's night light. You know, playing under that night light is always different for Arsenal. So definitely, I think it's going to be really difficult for Bayer Leverkusen to get this one done. But I trust that Arsenal is going to definitely qualify to the quarterfinals, but it's going to be a tough one, because even the game they played at the weekend against Everton, they had to just rely on individual brilliance, obviously from Gyökeres and Dorman, who scored the second goal. But trust me, it's not going to be easy. It is really not going to be easy. So Arsenal has to be prepared for that game. Now, Chelsea, on the other hand, are going to be hosting Paris Saint-Germain. Don't forget that the first leg ended in a 5-2 win for Paris Saint-Germain, and Chelsea were awful in that first leg. Probably, let me say, in the last 20 minutes of the game, because the first 50, 60, 65 minutes, they were very good. They kept Paris Saint-Germain in the game. They were able to defend properly. You know, the match was, at that point, it was even 2-2 and all that. And no, 3-2, and they were trying to get the equalizer. Unfortunately, some of the decisions that the coach Liam Rossini made, you know, taking off Cole Palmer, taking off Jean Pedro, that opened the game for Paris Saint-Germain to just press them all over. And I want to believe it's not going to make the same mistake again. However, Chelsea lost their game at home at the weekend in the Premier League against Newcastle United. So I'm trying to understand or see where they are going to get that confidence from to get 3 goals against Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, they've done it before. In the FIFA Club World Cup, they did it. They scored 3 goals and Paris Saint-Germain couldn't score 1. But I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, because yes, they're playing at Stamford Bridge, but regardless, they played at Stamford Bridge against Newcastle, and somehow they couldn't even get it together. They seemed like they were tired, exhausted. Yes, I get that they've played 3 games in about 5 days, but they have to do better. They honestly have to do better, you know, compared to that performance in the first leg. They can't, no, that performance cannot repeat itself. Liam Rossini has to talk to these boys, and these boys also have to take responsibility for some of the results, especially in the last 2 games, because this was down to them. Even though you want to blame the coach for the substitutions he made in the first leg, I still think that this game, he has to do better. The players have to step up. They have to be responsible and get the game and that result that they need. Even though I feel like Paris Saint-Germain is not obviously going to make it easy for them, but maybe, just maybe, Chelsea has a chance to get the job done. And that will require them also ensuring that Paris Saint-Germain doesn't score. I don't see how that is going to happen anyways. But yeah, yeah, I think Paris Saint-Germain is going to go through anyways. And then Real Madrid will travel to the Etihad Stadium to face Manchester City. Woo-hoo. Don't forget the first leg ended in what? 3-0 loss for Man City. How they lost that game, if you ask me, I don't know. How they lost it, I don't know. Federico Valverde getting 3 goals, a hat-trick against Man City. I agree that Man City right now are struggling defensively, but struggling to score, I didn't expect that. I honestly didn't expect that. But the truth is, I feel like Man City is still one team that can still get that result against Real Madrid, especially if Real Madrid doesn't turn up. If they don't, then Man City will definitely march all over them. And trust me, when you give Man City the chance to score, they will score a lot of goals. So you cannot even afford to give Man City that chance. And this is to Real Madrid, even though they have one of the best goalkeepers right now in the world, Courtois, I feel like they can still struggle sometimes. So definitely this is going to be a very, very tough game. Also, Man City drew their game at the weekend in the Premier League against West Ham. So maybe it's still going to be a tough game for them. And it seems like Real Madrid right now, they are on this level of confidence right now going into this game, considering the fact that they also won their game at the weekend. I think it was a 3-1 win for them. I'm trying to remember who it is that they played, but the truth is Elche. It was a 4-1 win for Real Madrid against Elche. So definitely they are on a rise right now, scoring 4 goals, 4 and 3 goals. That's about 7 goals in 2 games. Come on, Real Madrid they are not playing. So Man City has to be really, really prepared for this game. And then the final game on Tuesday, we'll see Sporting CP take on the team from Norway, Bodo Glimt. Now, the first leg, Bodo Glimt got a 3-0 win over Sporting CP, and that was a huge surprise. Sporting CP in the Champions League always play very well. They always play very well. But this time around, Bodo Glimt says no. And the performance has been consistent for Bodo Glimt because this is the same side that faced Inter Milan home and away, and they did beat them home and away. So I don't think Sporting has a chance again in this game. I definitely think that Bodo Glimt is going to score, and that will probably be the end of it. Maybe it's a 2-0 win for Bodo Glimt, and that's it. But they are really, really playing very well right now. And Sporting is going to have to do a lot of work to get any sort of result against this team. I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, I think Bodo Glimt are as good as equalized or advanced into the quarterfinals. And then on Wednesday, we have Barcelona host Newcastle United. Now, don't forget that this particular fixture ended in a 1-1 draw at St. James's Park in the first leg. And somehow, Newcastle would have hated themselves, just the fact that they allowed Barcelona equalize that game in the very last minute through a penalty. It was so bad. I felt like Newcastle played very, very well in that game. How it was that they just lost focus in the few minutes left and Barcelona got the equalizer, they will still be questioning themselves over it. I do think Barcelona is going to struggle in the second leg, even though they are playing at Camp Nou, because the truth is Newcastle have somehow won. They've had 2 wins and 1 draw in their last 3 games. Don't forget they played Manchester United, winning that one even when they were down to 10 men, playing a draw against Barcelona, and then now they beat Chelsea 1-0 at the weekend in the Premier League. So they are on a confidence level right now. Eddie Howe is doing a good job with Newcastle. So definitely, I think that is still going to be tough for Barcelona. They will try to want to get the job done, but I think it's going to be tough. If they try, to stop Barcelona from scoring the first goal, then yes, maybe Newcastle can get that job done maybe late on in the game. But I think it's still going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough for Barcelona to walk all over Newcastle in this game. Anyways, the other game on Wednesday, we'll see Bayern Munich take on Atalanta. Now, Bayern in the first leg, it was a 6-1 trumping of Atalanta. Does Atalanta have any chance in this game? Absolutely not. And I don't even see how Atalanta is going to stop Bayern Munich from getting a goal. They will definitely either score 1 or 2 goals. So, as far as I'm concerned, Bayern Munich are already in the quarterfinals. That's the much I'm going to say about this game. Yes, they did struggle at the weekend against Bayer Leverkusen, playing out a 1-1 draw and being reduced to 9 men, with Nicholas Jackson getting a red card in that game, and also Luis Diaz getting a red card. But I feel like Bayern have already done what they had to do, especially in the first leg, getting that all-important 6-1 win. So already, Atalanta have not covered themselves in glory, so they have to do a lot of work to get any no results, just no results for Atalanta. So let them just forget it. And then Liverpool against Galatasaray. This is where it's going to be difficult, because Liverpool, they really struggled. They really struggled against Galatasaray in that first leg. They did. And that just showed, because Galatasaray defended very well. They didn't give Liverpool any chance at all. And then we saw the same thing happen against Liverpool at the weekend, where they played out a 1-1 draw against Tottenham that is struggling. So how they're going to get the job done against Galatasaray, I don't know. And I'm even finding it difficult to even see which player he has to start to give them this confidence going into this game. Would you advise him to even start Musala? Because Musala is not really particularly playing very well. Florian Wirtz is playing well today, not playing well tomorrow. So it's still this inconsistency with a lot of their players. Konate is just average, bang average at the moment. The only person that I can say maybe is consistent, Soboslai, what's his name now? Van Dijk has improved a little bit, over the course of, I think, few games and all that. But really, except if Liverpool is able to get the job done early, if they're able to get that quick goal and just equalize everything, just to make it, let the goal line be equal until who then gets the second goal, then that is where it's going to be tough work for them. But honestly, I think that Galatasaray still has a better hand in this game, because, as I said, their game at the weekend, they won that game, I think about 4-1 or something like that. I'm trying to remember the team they played. Istanbul Başakşehir, that was the team they played, and it was a 3-0 win for them. So definitely, as I said, it's going to be a tough game for Liverpool in this one. Yes, they're playing at home. I still don't think it's going to be easy. I honestly don't think it's going to be easy for Liverpool, but let's just see how that one turns out anyway. And then the final game on Wednesday would be Tottenham taking on Atletico Madrid. Atletico, they are as good as qualified to the quarterfinals, because the first leg ended in favor of Atletico Madrid winning that game 5-2. What exactly is Tottenham going to come and do in this game? Yes, they're playing in London Stadium, but I don't know the drama or the action or the goal. No. Except that they can score 4 goals. And Tottenham has not, I think in their last few games, maybe apart from the first leg in this game where they scored 2 goals, they've not scored 2 goals in the last how many games? So how they're ever going to score 4 to win this game? It's not going to happen. It is absolutely not going to happen. Let's not even deceive ourselves. So yes, I think Atletico Madrid has already eased the pressure on themselves, and they are going to go into the quarterfinals anyway. So yeah, those are my thoughts on some of the games that will be happening on Tuesday and Wednesday, Champions League fixtures, the round of 16. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. As I would always say, I would definitely be reading and responding. Okay, also don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay, it helps the channel to grow, so please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so also put on your post notification bells to get our latest video when they drop, and follow us on all our social media platforms at _official FSH. Anyways, guys, as I would usually say, until the games are played and the results are in, enjoy the rest of your week. Bye bye, guys.